Hello, everybody, and welcome to Changeling the Lost, The Lot of Liars. This is session 0, and I am not your storyteller tonight. But before we begin, as the resident host of the channel, just going to do a couple of quick announcements to let you know. Hi, guys. I'm Kelle. I'm normally the storyteller and DM here. I am being relieved, and I'm very relieved, to have our guest storyteller Simon joining us. Simon Kaye, who you may have seen on either our Extra Life streams or on the Onyx Path, running a bunch of games there. Simon also is the host and star of Tabletop Almanac, which I'm sure he'll tell us about in a minute. But first, I just wanted to invite you to join us on this session 0, where we get to meet the characters and then jump in. We are going to be playing Changeling the Lost, which is a fantastic game that we'll learn more about in a minute. But first, if this is your first time with us, welcome to Dork Tales. We are a group of role players spread throughout Canada. A lot of us are in the Pacific Northwest, except for Simon, who's in the East Coast area. Kind of. You have first-hand account of where this game is set. You do. And this is the first of a series of games where we're having some guests from other channels come and run games for us so that I can actually get to play. It's really nice. I'm really looking forward to this. And what I also wanted to do is thank our sponsor for the night, because we could not do these games at all without support of people like you and support of sponsors like Bookworm Games. Bookworm Games is a phenomenal online proprietor that can handle any dice needs that you have. They have more than 170 different types, from liquid core to wood to resin to metal to some really badass gemstone D10 sets that you could use to run your Chronicles of Darkness games. Go to bookwormgames.com right now. Check out their huge supply and use Dork Tales to save 10% or more. We'll find out more about that very soon. Thank you to Bookworm Games for sponsoring us, and please go and support them in return to help keep Dork Tales on the air. And with that, I think it is a good time to hand this over to Simon. Simon, how's it going?
Hello. Good. How are you? All right. How's everyone out there? Happy to be here. This is exciting. I've, I guess, only sort of in the last year or two, so really got into the running games online, for audiences. And I'm really happy to be doing it here. It's an awesome crew, and got a fantastic set of characters for you to watch go through the ringer. As Kelly said, we're playing Changeling the Lost. This is, I'll give a quick rundown of it in case you're unfamiliar with it. This is a Chronicles of Darkness game, formerly a World of Darkness game, colloquially known as the New World of Darkness games. It is the spiritual sequel to Changeling the Dreaming, which was kind of where I got in all of that stuff. Rather all the fairy stuff, and actually is kind of relevant to some of what we're doing here. So Changeling the Lost is a game about fairy, and it's also a game about, well, I guess I'll jump to themes right away. Horrible abuse. It is a grand metaphor and analogy for what people go through when they undergo a traumatic experience, living condition, what have you. So do bear in mind that the warning of this being a mature game is not, lightly said. Changeling is a dark game and can get very darker too. The thrust of it is that beyond our world, there is the realm of fairy, Arcadia. Between us, we have the hedge. It's kind of a border lands spot. And in Arcadia live the fairy. You may also hear them referred to as the gentry or the keepers, sort of depending on who's speaking of them. And they are beings of great, immense power in their realm and outside of the realm too, to an extent. They each kind of fit, I guess I would say, like an idiom, a milieu, a theme in a way, and they really like to play it out. If you want to think of them as actors in roles, that's kind of like what they do. And while they're acting out their role in their world, they like to bring in people from our world to play other roles too. Now, this can be more proactive or directly involved. So say a fairy whose title puts them as some sort of grand general, they might bring in foot soldiers or elite soldiers or whatnot. They might also, and this is sort of based on what they see, they are attracted to people who have a certain X factor that only they see, and then they bring them in based on that X factor. And while it could be something like, I need a soldier, this person looks like they'd be a good soldier, let's take him in. It might also be, this person's hardy and strong, I will mold them into a breastplate or a shield, and they will be that for their eternity here, because they don't really intend to let them go. But here's the thing. Sometimes they do get away. They escape. They run away from Arcadia. They run through the hedge. They run through the thorns. It tears away pieces of them, and they come back to our world. And they can come back to our world 10 years later, 10 minutes later. It's a realm of fairy, so everything is kind of up in the air in terms of how it directly relates to our world. And they, of course, have been changed by this experience. They are actively a supernatural being known as a changeling, or the Lost. And they meet up with other communities of changelings, which organize into courts, which are grand, or sort of the bigger organizations. And then you got smaller motleys, which are like kind of gangs, either for a purpose or just because they're all friends. And a lot of the game then is about existing now. It's about coming out of this experience and how you then relate to it, how you cope and how you move on, if that's what you can do. Not everyone does. The primary courts are seasonal based: winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Each of them sort of attracts people based on how they've reacted to this experience. So spring dives into earthly delights and sort of wants to look past it by just partying their way through it. I mean, I'm obviously glossing over a fair bit of nuance here. Summer is about being angry and about taking back control, and autumn is about fear and knowledge and understanding and secrets and exploration of what it is to be fae. When I say fae, I'm talking about all of fairy and fae magic, and when I say fairy, I'm going to talk about like the big scary ones. And then winter is about sorrow, and it's about hiding, and it's about keeping away from this. The best defense is never being found. And there are different courts all around the world. But for this game, we are going to use the 4 seasonal ones. That was a quick explanation, kind of greater context and themes, all in one bit there, I would say. As a I guess a side note, I have mentioned it at times to the cast. There's not necessarily going to be any crossover. So if you come into this looking for a vampire to show up, you're probably not going to get a vampire to show up, or if they are, they're a fairy vampire. Then next, our setting. I've chosen the real world capital of Canada, Ottawa. Oh, I pronounced it correctly there. Not Ottawa, as we are known to call it. And I picked it for a couple of reasons. One, it's where I grew up, and so I know it pretty well. Because it's where I grew up, it's also where I personally got involved with the kind of modern supernatural World of Darkness games, et cetera, et cetera. And so it has a lot of sentimental value and attachment, which is also sort of connected to Changeling. There is a lot of sentiment, a lot of sort of, I don't know if ennui is necessarily the right word, but wistfulness attached to things, things that remind you of whatever. Now I do have to note, For any of you who have been there or currently live there, I have not lived there in quite some time, and it has changed. This is going to be very much a fictional version of Ottawa, based on my own experiences and my own knowledge, to be modified closer and closer to the real thing as I can spend more and more time researching and sort of cementing it down. Why is it a good setting? When I got asked this question, I thought it was great because it's not Montreal, it's not Toronto, it's not Vancouver, it's not one of the big cities. It's been known as the place where fun went to die. It's to us, though, it was the place where you make your own fun. We didn't get big concerts. I mean, we sort of did sometimes, but the big bands always skipped us. So we had our own little scenes in like small bars and concert halls and things like that. If you were into like underground music and that sort of thing, then that was actually not a bad place to be because that was who you could get to come out there, or the local scene. On that same sort of note, I always sort of leaned closer to the punk side of the gothic punk of the old World of Darkness, the classic World of Darkness, which I do tend to like to kind of carry over into any of these games. So sort of centers cannot hold, corruption in high places, et cetera, is always kind of a part of what I like to have. So something to expect. But why is it a good setting? It's a capital city that really feels like a small town. It's really easy. I was gonna say it's really easy to get anywhere. That's kind of a lie. The transit system has gotten better, but the neighborhoods have very distinct feels, but they're also not so separated from each other that you never have any connection with them, right? You can live in New York City and spend all your time in Brooklyn and never leave it, or Queens, or wherever. In Ottawa, anywhere you are, the only place to go is, kind of downtown. So everyone eventually goes downtown. It's also, I like it as a setting because it is a seat of federal power in Canada. And I like that gives it a sort of solid foot in the political side of things. If it were a vampire game, then you'd have them like with their fangs and literally everybody. But it's got that sort of halls of power and the history of Canada as a concept. Not necessarily stemming from there. I gotta watch. I'm not talking like an Ontarian here. But it has that kind of like DC vibe to it. It's also on unceded Algonquin land. I'm very sure it's Algonquin, but I will confirm. And there is, of course, when you dig into the history of it, there is really kind of a microcosm. Someone can correct me. Of like the history of Confederation and things like that. All those being kind of historical bits I like to either draw on or help inform what's going on in there. So to me, it's a good setting because it has a ton of potential. It's not very big. It's not a massive entertainment area. So the people are here really for very specific reasons, I guess, in a way. You don't kind of drift and then find yourself here. So I hope that kind of, I didn't know if immediately I was going to be selling everyone on Ottawa itself, but I'll make an effort. It's a very lovely city. It's very, very green, very calm.
Isn't it very white? It's like snowy all the time, right?
Except in summer. So it's in a valley, and I read a stat once that it was it said number one on the list of capitals of the world that had the biggest extreme between hottest and coldest. The second was Moscow. And it definitely has felt like that at times, because it can get up to like mid to high 30s in summer and below in winter. It does get a lot of snow. Global warming has changed that here and there. Sadly, I hope that's not too political.
Climate
Global,
change?
Yes.
I literally was wearing shorts on Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
While I was in Kansas, where there's normally a foot of snow.
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah,
it's not political; it's a fact.
It is a fact. It is a fact. And they don't care about your feelings. It can get very snowy, and the main downtown street gets it on like a Friday or Saturday or Thursday, which for some time has been the new Friday, can get kind of busy, but it's not like hectic, and it can shut down really quickly. So you almost get like a ghost town. Where is it? Is it Calgary or Edmonton, which is like that too? Because I'm trying to remember. My brother lived there, and now I can't remember which one. Edmonton. I'm going to say no, Calgary. Anyway, everything happens downtown. And everyone lives outside of it, and so the minute like 5 o'clock hits, it's like a ghost town there. There are patches of that, which in winter is beautiful because you can just walk down this street, like snow falling past these amber street lights, and no one's around to make a peep. But it's changing. A lot of developments going up, like a lot of high rises. The old empty concrete lot and CFL football stadium now turned into, a commercial area, things like that. So it's also got that kind of neat, like transitory period. So I'm gonna look back at that itinerary. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of why Ottawa, and I'll cover a little more. I'll hopefully convey to you more of why Ottawa as we play through. Story structure. We envisioned this. We're doing this in 12 sessions, one a month, and there are going to be, I guess, kind of 4-ish stories in one larger one, each attached to a season. So sort of a three episode per story linked together, and we'll bring it to a thrilling conclusion at the end. It's kind of nice to start in January for that. But yes, with some definitely tying it into the seasons and the change of seasons and the various themes associated with the courts and that are representative of those as well. So for all those of you watching, if you haven't played or read Changeling the Lost, beyond highly recommending it, there is a lot of nuance that I'll try to explain as we go. But obviously, if I gloss over something, someone can always yell in the chat, "What do you mean by this?" And I'll do my best to contextualize it quickly. Okay, so back to you.
Back to, yeah. Well, do we want to go through and meet the cast at this point? Like, yeah, so Simon, you start us off, man. Tell us about yourself. Plug yourself. Plug yourself. Like PG-13.
PG-13 plugging. Okay. All right. So my name is Simon. I am a gamer of many, many years, which honestly means nothing because, for all those of you out there who've only played a bit, you never stop. I don't know, changing things. I'm convinced that my game mastering is only at its best at that exact moment, and previously has been somewhat poor and not as good as it could be. Not a forever GM, but I do enjoy the active, the playing the role of GM in games. I have a lot of fun. Kind of, I like doing kind of concept stuff. So I like kind of throwing out. All right, who wants to play a game based off of Proust or something like that, and seeing what A, who bites, and B, if it even works. So yeah, I also do RPG reviews over on the Tabletop Almanac. It's a blog on WordPress, so it's www.thetabletopalmanac.wordpress.com. I could have picked a shorter name, but I have started doing video reviews over on YouTube, and you can also, as Kelly mentioned, find me here for Extra Life, running or playing games for the kids. Get some money for them. And also of late over on the Onyx Path Twitch channel, I do a roughly once monthly Mage of the Ascension show, kind of an introduction to the 20th anniversary game in its second season, the Build a Chronicle season. And then I've also got a 100th Vigil actual play broadcasting on the OPP channel these days. It is 9:00 Eastern time every other Friday, so it'll be on tomorrow. I don't know, anything else?
That sounds good to me.
Helpful? Cool. Okay.
All right. So hey,
I'm the storyteller for the game.
He's the storyteller. So that's so everybody, I'm Kelly next down the row. You see in him, and folks, I am normally in that chair and I don't have to be right now. I'm very excited. I've been mulling over this concept for a while, but I'll tell you more about that in a couple minutes. I am a lifelong storyteller, performer, and have been running these games for way too long, and actually was hashtag blessed enough to run Changeling the Lost as a LARP for Caitlan, Amy, and Kelle quite a while ago. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fantastic game. It's a game that I'm much better at playing than running, I feel, just because you have to have a certain type of fairy tale brain to do it a lot of the time. And it's definitely a really cool game. I think you're really going to like it. Passing over to Caitlan.
I gotta unmute myself. Hello, I'm Caitlan. I use she, her pronouns. And I go by Petite Medic on all social medias except for Twitter, which is Petite Medic. But yeah, I was in a Changeling LARP, and I'm super excited to be back in a Changeling game. It's going to be a very different concept, which is great, even though my LARP character was really great. I didn't want to do her over again.
She was great.
She was great. She was real feisty. You want to see me broody and feisty and just like... Yeah, that would have been the character for you. But no, you get Isobel. We'll see who that is pretty soon here. That's really all that's cool about me.
All right, down the past to Amy.
Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm Amy. Pronouns she, her, they, them. I'm go by Paradoxical Ghoul in most places, or just shortened to Ghoul. Fun times. As mentioned, yes, we were in a Changeling LARP where I played a selectively mute wizened who was a very interesting character to play. So this is a dramatic change from that, as much as Caitlan has done, but I'm very excited for it. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm playing Jocelyn, and you will again also learn a lot about her later. It's good.
Over to Kal.
Hello, my name is Kal, and yeah, I'm Neo Kal in the chat. I use he, him pronouns. I will be a vampire soon on Dork Tales.
It's true.
And what do I do? Yeah, I guess I have one or two or three podcasts, usually about 90s mainframe entertainment shows. So Reboot, Beast Wars, what was it called? It was called War Planets in the US. It was called, I don't remember what it was called in Canada. Yeah, I did a whole podcast on this and I don't remember, trust me. But yeah, still doing the podcasting thing. You can come and creep me at too much energon if you like Transformers. And that's it. Looking forward to this game. Looking forward to more Dork Tales stuff coming in 2024.
We have so much dumb stuff coming. Kelle! You're not the dumb stuff that's coming. Sorry.
Oh, I'd be used to it if I was, like, hello, I'm Kel from up the road, and I use she, her pronouns, and you might remember me from such, adventures on Dark Tales as Dreams of Arcos, which is back on Sunday, or Hunter, which we're recording again tomorrow, and other stuff. Yeah. So for this, I loved the Changeling game that we were all in years ago. It was so much fun. Like Caitlan and Amy said, we all played together. Their characters were fantastic. Mike and I had, these tiny, these small scale, characters that, nobody remembers. They were interesting individuals and, by no means still live in our house or in our psyches at all. If you know, you know. They were weird. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this. I will be playing Agent Dale Trooper, who is basically like a private eye, and through the discussions with our artist, I found out that I secretly wanted to be Jessica Jones. Maybe not so secretly, but that's who it is this time. So I'm looking forward to doing this. This is going to be fun. Hopefully with lots of I think I will be maybe raising a little hell and drinking a damn fine cup of coffee.
Nice.
Yes,
so yeah, the game's going to be Thursdays, once a month, every month on a Thursday, usually at the beginning of the month, and will be on YouTube probably the Saturday that week, if the timing works out. But I'll let you know about that. But Simon, what are we talking about this episode?
Sure. Okay. I guess a couple of things. We've got this is my first session 0 here, so. I have the itinerary to work from. We can do a bit of finalization of character creation if everyone has the emotional and mental and physical bandwidth to do so. And I can, I guess talk a little bit about. I'm not going to talk too much about the story itself. We're going to get to that next week. So, show up anyway. But in terms of maybe tone and that sort of thing, item number 6, I think we can definitely cover. Maybe I'll cover that first, and then we can do some character stuff. Everyone can kind of introduce themselves, give like
let's do it.
Short little snippet of who they're playing, and we'll do some of the mechanical and bookkeeping kind of stuff. The under the hood, behind the scenes, past the thorns kind of deal. All right, so this is for the sake of ease an R-rated game, not just because the channel is, as far as I'm told, but also it'll be easy to do that. Language wise, I mean, if you're a viewer, you would know, but I think we will allow some cursing, but no slurs, no hateful language, things like that. In terms of lines and veils and various safety tools, we are of course using them, and if one of the things I did this for Last Extra Life for Unknown Armies was mentioned right at the beginning that it includes some pretty like nasty stuff here and there. So if that episode I'm predicting anything, or can say without beyond a shadow of a doubt that one may have something specific in it, I will do my best to announce that ahead of time. I actually did it for my Hunter one as well. I just have a very long disclaimer of what might possibly show up in that. Usually covers anything, anywhere my mind went and where the action went during the game. But there will be violence. There will be horror of various sorts. Maybe a little less on the sex side, but romance or fade to black stuff is, I believe we all clear it as being okay. But if that's not okay, then tell me now. G-rated World or Chronicles of Darkness game would be, gosh, I don't even know how that would go.
It would just be
Buffy.
Steamboat Mickey. It'd just be Steamboat Willie again.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the world of darkness.
Maybe with like a Trent Reznor soundtrack in the background, though, just so you
I'm
know like
royalty free
something
now,
else is happening. But
there's already a horror movie.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
Okay, themes. When you put themes down here, were you intending like themes of this specific chronicle?
Yeah. What are you thinking of? Or do we have any themes?
Okay.
Anything you want to talk about specifically? Or
Well,
I mean,
let's
these are just
look
placeholders. Like, what do you think?
Sure. So let's talk about kind of themes to Changeling itself. And while I am kind of turning and looking at my rule book right now, just to refresh my memory as to how they specifically phrased it, I by no means feel embarrassed at that. It's very clear. The overarching themes of Changeling are beauty and agony, clarity and madness, and lost and found. And the clash and conflict between those sort of dualities. One of the biggest difficulties Changelings have is readjusting to this world. So for those of you new to the game, when you come back, presuming that not too much time has passed, you may attempt to go back to your old life. The catch is that the fairy are mindful of what they're doing to the extent that they don't want necessarily anyone to know, or they're just weird. But they leave behind a fetch, and a fetch is a fey creature made up of sticks and stones and moss and leaves and a little bit of that changeling that gets stuck in there that looks just like the person they replaced. That is because changelings have a mask and a mean, and the mask is probably pretty self-explanatory. It's what everyone else sees, because of course you, me, and singular NPC in the world of darkness, human NPC in the world of darkness over there, can't see the supernatural. So we don't see that secretly that person is a giant ogre with chainsaws for teeth or something like that. We see just, that guy over there. And that's also how the fetch is hidden. They have a mask thrown over them. And they go and they live your life. They might do it better. Subjective judgment notwithstanding. They might do it worse. They might do it similar but different. And so when you come back, part of it is sort of struggling to maintain your sort of mortal identity while not necessarily ignoring what you've just gone through. Suppressing it doesn't exactly do you a lot of good, but neither does ignoring it entirely. And so changelings have a track called clarity, and it can be damaged and strengthened, and it's all about how they can distinguish like what's going on in their world, how much of am I in the mortal world still? Maybe I escaped only to find myself just in a fairy facsimile of it, and therefore I am still stuck in Arcadia and you're all fake, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of psychological what? Who's not real?
You're not real.
I'm a series of pixels and bits and bytes, an entity born in the sea of information, here to run your.
I could tell you were AI. Hold up both your hands at the same time if you're not.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll hold up all three of my hands at the same time. So the clarity and madness part is there. Lost and Found is a lot of it in your motley and in your court to an extent is kind of about the found family aspect, right? You are they are your support group, they are your friends, they are the only people who can understand what you've gone through, and even then they can't properly understand all of it because they didn't go through what you went through, and at the same time you can't understand what they went through for the same reason. And part of the Lost thing is almost that where am I now? What am I doing? How am I doing that? How am I going to achieve things? What are my new goals? Do I kill my fetch and try and take my life back? Do I accept that everyone's actually really happy with that replacement, and I might as well maybe move along? Maybe before you went, you were a violent drunk, and the fetch wasn't, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, we're not so upset. Like, this person isn't doing this anymore. And having gone through this, you look at it and go, well, with your newfound clarity on your life, I guess maybe they're better off with them. I mean, it's very sad, it's very tragic, and I find it to be one of the most consistently and firmly tragic games in the Chronicles of Darkness series. In sort of, it doesn't really waffle about it. It's just very clear on what's going through. It's not, you don't really have to read too much between the lines. And beauty and agony. You've gone through a horrible traumatic experience, but you've also gone to a mystical land of wonder, right? This is like going to Narnia or something like that. Only, Aslan's an actual lion who eats people, or something to that effect, and he's drafted you into his war against his counterpart, the White Witch, who are fighting over an unnecessary part of land. Actually, to sort of illustrate that, I don't know if anyone out there is an Ars Magica fan. In Ars Magica 4th edition, they had an adventure in the book Ordo Nobilis, which is all about the nobility of mythic Europe. And it was called The Respective Merits of Twilight and Gloaming. And in that adventure, you go to Faerie and have to deal with these two rival courts of Faerie, one of whom is Twilight, one of whom is Gloaming, both of which are almost identical moments in the diurnal cycle. But to them, they're significantly different enough that they are going to have conflicts and go to war over it. And that is almost the pettiness or the incomprehensibility of what being in Arcadia is like. But by the same time, it is this wondrous, beautiful, terrifying place. And when you come back, you still see some of that, not only in your friends and colleagues and the other Faerie, but in other aspects of it. You see the hedge sort of creep its way into our world. You see portals into it. You can go back into the hedge and wander around. There are creatures that live there that aren't from Arcadia. But it's still this like wondrous thing that you may never have expected to experience. It's still terrifying, but it's there, and it's this. It just creates this duality and conflict. Now, that's Changeling. For our game, if you watch the trailer, it is a bit of a mystery. There are deaths, and there are sort of catalyst-like deaths that kick things off. The the sort of mood that I'm hoping to shoot for is something in the noir vein. But as it comes to mysteries and investigations, though that will be a part of it, it is also still beholden to the fact that these are changelings who have magic and stuff like that to help them in it. So there'll be kind of weird bits in that. It's not, they have access to resources beyond your mundane investigator. So while that is part of the Chronicle, it's not going to be the only part. And we'll be sort of exploring the setting and the PCs, their lives, as well as how they intertwine with the NPCs. That's kind of standard, I suppose. But and then the title isn't me being clever. Well, I'm attempting to be clever in the lot of liars, meaning both all of them and also as in their lot in life. And so much of this does revolve around truth and falsehoods and what we tell ourselves and what we tell others and how we present things so that we can sort of be who we are and who we want to portray in a way. Sometimes those are necessary, and sometimes they're benevolent, and sometimes malevolent. But truth and falsehood will be another major theme of the Chronicle. Wow, I feel like I'm just kind of talking, but hopefully
that's session zeros for you, man. Like, I feel you. This is my first time on the other side of that in a long time, and I'm like, oh, I feel the mood. Do you want us to talk about our characters?
Let's do that. So why doesn't everybody? We can go through in the same order or whatnot.
Let's go reverse. Let's go make Kelle do it because she already did it.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess tell as much as you want the audience to know at this point. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Well, kind of a little bit of her backstory. I guess her experience while being captured by the Fae. She is a fox. Her seeming is a fox. That's not sure how it was that she became a fox, but she was used for the fox hunts by the keepers. So she kind of got to a point where she got really good at hunting, as well as not being caught. So kind of like the being used for games all the time. I guess maybe a little bit of a kind of Hunger Games kind of idea. I'm not really sure what was sparking this idea, but I know. I was watching Midsummer and it was a fox hunt episode. That's why. Not sorry. Yeah, but the idea of the fox hunt, kind of got into my head, and like, okay, if she was a fox character used for the fox hunt, and came up with the idea that she got really good at it, became one of the best hunters, rarely ever caught. And that's how she got out. She waited until she was I can't remember if I said that she was the prey or she was the hunter, but she made a deal with somebody and went through the hedge, got out, and has been on the run. And because she's a good hunter and is good at that, kind of has grown into this like a private detective for the Autumn Court. So that's the big inspiration. And of course, because it was, the idea of a Dale Cooper type, there were, many things flying around about, Twin Peaks and being ancient Dale Cooper. And so that's why she's Dale Trooper, because that nod to Canada. Yeah, but it's just going to be more. I don't want her to be a comical character. This isn't the same as the last time I played Changeling, so this is definitely more of a serious character. Probably a little bit more trauma than she will let on to people. Because being hunted and then being a hunter and having to switch back and forth between it, I think probably really takes a toll on a person, no matter what your circumstances are. So I'm hoping to discover more about this character. I like to have an idea about a character, but they're never fully fleshed out when I start them. I like to kind of see who they become and grow into them, or see what comes out from my experience, and how much of me is there and how much of somebody new is it. So
Very nice. Yeah,
that's how I'm going with it. That's where I'm starting.
All right.
Kal, you're up.
Yeah, I'm playing. I just have Beauregard as their name. Yeah, their seeming is beast, and yeah, their kith is reborn. So I imagine them having died and been brought back, almost like the what were the Fae masters called again? What's the term for them?
Keepers.
True Fae. Yeah.
True Fae.
True Fae. Kind of like a video game, or like getting bored and switching video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, look at the ragdoll physics in this, and just for funsies, like burning it down and making them up again. And so I kind of have them being a little bit tough, like with that mindset going into character creation. But the kind of tough not because they had to be, not because they want to be. Yeah, and so
it's like a survival technique.
What's that?
Like a survival mechanism in a way. Like
yeah, that's a good way to put it. And yeah, as far as their oh geez, I forgot the how they look to other
the
changelings. Is it
mask.
main or the mask?
Oh, mean. Sorry, mean for everyone else. All changelings will see your fairy mean.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right? I've been reading it as main. That's how. Oh, by the way, this is the first. I think I'm the only one in the group that has never played changeling before. So there's that. I'm the newbie, and but yeah, it's been fun. I picture them not looking too married to any like one appearance, but they have like big ram horns and a big frame. I kind of pictured them somewhere between like Hellboy and like a normal person. So not like, like 6 feet wide and 5 feet tall and made out of stone, but like still very kind of like very imposing. And yeah, I think that they're kind of going to be the like Big Brother and Sisters Foundation, or I have as the needle. I think that's like the term, which is kind of like I have like teacher / counselor. I haven't determined quite yet which one fits.
Right.
And yeah, I picture them I picture them kind of like trying to mentor or help others. Because they don't really know how to to help themselves.
Good. Yeah.
And yeah, it's this is it's interesting that I've never played this before, because it started venturing into and I made a joke about this in the in the Twitch chat. When your character's backstory isn't as tragic as your own, maybe you gotta, I don't know, maybe you gotta push it up a little bit, like higher.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to punch those up.
Yeah, or maybe that's insightful, and maybe you should talk to somebody about it. But one thing I like about it so far, building the character and seeing how they fit, like with the different chords. I'm still figuring out all the different terms. Like I don't even know what weird is or glamour. Glamour, is that magic? I'll find out. But I've calculated a bunch of things, and I like it was easy to follow once I had his theme of like helping others because they don't know how to help themselves. Everything else kind of, all the funny because it's a world of darkness, all the dots kind of placed themselves. Yeah, one thing that I will reveal, because it's not too important for the story, like we might not touch on it too much, is when they did come back, the fetch is the like little thing that like inhabited their life that looked like them, right?
Yeah.
They're fetched like finished school, like is holding a steady job, like has a partner, has a pet, has their own place. Like they're doing better than when they were there. And so they just lit them. Like there was nothing to go back to. Like things were, like they call their mom once a week. Right? Like they were like, oh, this person's like they figured it out better than I did.
Right.
And so there's a kind of, well, like who am I to go and like, rip this guy apart and then like go and fill the role worse. So they're actually not connected to, or telling themselves that they're not connected to their old life, and they're trying to like found family, like be a mentor, like they teach like boxing at like a gym, right? They're probably part of like the Big Brother and Sister Foundation or the local equivalent therein. And yeah, they're just kind of like the Ram theme. They're kind of like a big defensive kind of like, a brute on the outside and kind of like wants to become better on the inside. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I think that's what I've come up with.
Excellent. Who do we have next?
I think it's me.
Amy.
I think it is myself, the Amy. So I'm playing Jocelyn. Jocelyn is a your best fish friend you didn't know you wanted, and that she was a fish in a fish pond, and that was where she spent her durance, her time away when she was taken. And so she likes to be social. I realized the opposite of the lone wolf, but in this context is more like the codependent, clingy fish. So, fish in schools of fish would like to be social, does not like being alone, spent her entire time in fairy surrounded by other fish, changelings, and does not do well alone. So, very much so she is a fairist, she is a swimmer skin, she is a mermaid, basically. I didn't intend that originally, but that's where we went with it. So she is very much the like physical, athletic in the swimmer type, that kind of strength and not elegance, but that, I don't know, how do you describe a fish that, like, you know, wiggles?
Graceful?
Graceful, yeah, sure.
No, that's not it, but it'll do for now.
Yeah, basically. I realized that I focused very much on the appearance because she spent the whole time being the shiny covered in scales and that more social aspect. So I did not go heavy on the intelligence and mentals, which means that what I'm getting is kind of a jock himbo mermaid.
Love it.
Sort of.
I love this so much.
Oh, our characters can race.
Yeah. They're gonna get along. They're gonna get along swimmingly because I went provider as the needle because she needs to look after people, and her thread is friendship. And when she came back to the mundane world from her time, she did not go home. I think she may have looked very, very briefly, if at all, because she's focused on trying to find her brother, who also is a mermaid, well, merman, who's missing. Well, at least she thinks he's missing. So both of them were replaced, and I don't think she plans to go home until she's found him and they can go home together. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how this works out. Yeah. As in our chat is saying, the golden retriever in fish form. I was trying to figure out my skill specialty.
You're a dogfish.
Get some music character creation, right? Yeah, it's the opposite of catfishing, or sort of. It's like you get exactly what's on the surface. It's
dog
you get exactly what you look at.
What it says on the tin.
It's what it says on the tin. On the tin? Well, also concerning because canfish is yeah.
I like that goal because there's an end point.
Yeah.
Which is very contrast to my character who's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Immense panic. Too real.
Oh, no, that's
change character.
Yeah. So I decided I have a specialty in animal ken for fish. In that, so I have no idea what that's gonna be. I don't know if I should broaden that to more like aquatic creatures in general, or if I'm just going fish. So she is the blue fish. So she has blue scales and very much like, lots of like shimmering blue and teal scales, and I'm very excited for how this whole thing's gonna come together. And her sibling is more of like a pinkish red. So we've got the red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish, and I didn't do that in part on purpose.
I was just going to ask that if there was a red fish to go with your blue fish.
Well, it's more of like
her brother better be a red fish.
He's like pink and gold, like reddish pink.
Yeah. But
so what she has
fits with the theme. Yeah.
She actually has a necklace which has some of his scales, and I think he's probably got one similar with hers. So I'm very, very excited to put this together.
Are they twins?
No, not twins. They're not twins. One is older, but perhaps the time dilation in fairy, I think, may impact the actual age difference. It probably is moot point at this time. I have no idea when she was taken or what era it was. But I feel like she's very bad at academics and computers. She's probably not good at texting.
Is that because you didn't?
But she tries. She uses emojis for everything.
Y'all have dots in computers?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
Oh, so they text like a Gen Xer, like 7 like laugh cry emojis at the end of every message.
Yeah.
Yes.
No offense
I'm very
Gen Xers.
Cal, can you confirm or deny that?
I do not. My T-shirt isn't here yet. I did order that T-shirt from T Fury that was like Gen X, like y'all annoy us, just leave us alone. Yeah, it actually said raised on the Price is Right lawn darts and something. It's awesome.
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
it's us. It's us.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll figure out how this is all going to work out.
Passionate.
I'm fairly certain this is going to be, yeah. I'm excited for this character. I hope you guys are too. So, yeah, that's Jocelyn.
All right.
All right, it's you.
From Jocelyn, we go to the not so social again, Isobel. So Isobel is a darkling notary. Yeah, notaries are kind of interesting. These are kind of usually used as living documents. They know their way around a pledge, and they know exactly how to get out of one. Or how to get around, skirt the legal wording of things. And so I kind of imagine her as a very letter of the law, not a spirit of the law, because that's kind of how she found herself back in the real world.
Oh, that's the worst.
Just saying, that's who she is. Originally, Isobel was a law student, and then got taken, and then came back. I had her in a different city, though, so I don't think that she is going to have too much of that conflict with her past life, but she's still kind of figuring out if she wants to go that route or not. But at the moment, she works as a librarian in the university library, kind of keeping close to the university, but not fully in it quite yet. Let's see here. For the court, oh yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just gonna say for the court. Okay, I put her as Autumn, kind of a spooky thing. I made most of her. Let me just get the right word because I always get this wrong. I always was like, well, what's it actually called? Her contracts. Her contracts. I made most of them kind of vision-y and kind of supportive. So she's not super duper fighter. She is more of a mental investigative librarian, record keeper, so to speak, kind of character. I always have to find something better than keeper when we're talking changeling. Like, I need a different word. Like, but
yeah, her gentry doesn't really roll off the tongue as much as her keeper, but yeah.
Well, no, I was saying like if she's so she isn't a keeper, right? So record keeper would be a right. When you're talking changeling, you're like, well, maybe that's not really the kind of word you want to say. It kind of means something else. So.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So at the moment, she just, I was thinking she kind of stays in the library as a little darkling in the archives, kind of sometimes going over to children's story time and telling them really spooky stories and feeding off their fear. Oh, and I did give her a friend, actually. I gave her a friend who is really into occult things.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Her librarian occultist friend who doesn't have a name yet. They're simply
Jeez.
Amazing. That would be great.
Gile Jeeves? Gile Jeeves?
Yes.
I'm sure
the name's Jeeves. Gile Jeeves.
Giles Jeeves.
We'll figure it out.
Jeevels.
Jeevels. I don't know.
Can it be a gender swapped Velma named Jeevels?
Oh my goodness.
Jeevels Dinkley. Yeah.
Well, they have to be a librarian with that name.
I think so.
With the last name like Dinkley, you gotta. Yeah.
Jeevels Dinkley. Hi, my parents hated me.
I was not wanted.
I wasn't abducted to fairy so much as tossed that way.
I willingly went.
Please.
I signed up. And
I learned so many skills over there.
Mm-hmm.
God. That's great.
A couple of things, a bunch of terms were dropped there, and I threw some explanations in the chat, but I thought it might not be a bad idea for me just to like run through them very quickly.
Sorry.
No, wait, were you apologizing for doing that?
Yes.
No. Also,
We're
if-
Canadian.
Kind of going off.
Well, you
Sorry.
guys are
I probably would have
Canadian.
forgotten to do it. Okay, so, and specifically relevant because Isabel's a notary. Pledges, any sort of promise, any oath, anything like that is a major deal in fairy magic, and the weird and things like that. If you make a binding pledge, you are bound to that, and bad stuff happens to you if you break it, but good stuff happens to you if you keep it. And one of the most powerful tools available to changelings are pledges. And I haven't necessarily balanced the second versus the first to look at it, but definitely in first edition, you could really sit there and just go like, okay, this, and just create an absolute monster pledge that would let your motley just mop the floor in any fashion they so desired with anyone they ran up against. As an extension of that, changeling powers are called contracts, and that whole oath deal, like that deal with the fairy kind of thing, is relevant in many places. Contracts are powers that are available to changelings because of a deal made with something at some point. And I don't mean something as in like, eldritch horror or something. I mean as in like a contract with the element of wood, allowing you to manipulate the element of wood, or a contract with the concept of time or something like that. So
I've seen Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Are they
Oh my
kind
God.
of like that?
This is just Chainsaw Man. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So that helps me.
There we go.
And
We solved Changeling.
Contract. I can have contract with a fox demon.
you don't
Just change demon for Fae.
Yeah,
fuck
with
Fae.
Fox.
The chainsaw Fae.
Every time, and there should be a chainsaw Fae.
I'm changing my concept, Simon.
Okay.
I mean, who says there isn't?
Yeah, I mean, I did
Really?
mention that ogre with chainsaw teeth, which is weird. But so those are all sort of things to keep in mind. I'm trying to keep up and put brief definitions in there where I can. So yeah, contracts are the powers, and the relevance of courts beyond the fact that they're social organizations is that they have a magical, weird presence too, in that at one point a changeling made a contract with each of these concepts of winter, spring, summer, and fall and autumn, and the deal was that they would basically create that organization, that court, act and behave in a certain way, and they would gain benefits from that, but it would also help. The court system is a way of hiding from the fairy and sort of keeping them at bay. The monarch of the freehold being the changeling community, a changeling community, shifts over time. In this case, it changes with the season. And that's because the Fae, the true Fae, don't really understand this concept of giving up power or giving up anything. And so the idea is that it perplexes and confuses them, and they're targeting on, well, where's the power base here? Like, well, it was this, but now it's this. Why is that happening? And because they're so sort of single-minded based on their title, it can become a very difficult thing for them to parse out, and so that's why it changes. There are suggestions in that some monarchs might try to keep power for longer than their allotted time, and that is dangerous on account of the fact that then it keeps a consistency where the fairy go like, they're all over here. So
yeah, the courts support a smooth transition of power after. Never mind.
Basically, so I didn't mean to interrupt in the middle there, but it seems like a good moment to let our audience know about those rather critical terms. So
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I sorry. I think that's about it for Isobel. There's not a whole lot that I really
Anything else?
Else to say? No. Oh, actually, when you were a kid, did you ever think of that like weird person on the corner, like down the street in that weird house who might be a witch? You're kind of scared to go around there.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had
No?
the opposite.
You did
There
it?
was a-
That's her.
There was a nice old lady that if you went to go visit her, she would give you candy even if it wasn't Halloween.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, we just
Or is
had
that
a
the
lady.
fish?
We just had a lady like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty good.
What a heartwarming thought to think about before we descend into darkness.
Are you talking about my character?
What's going to happen to all of your characters? But yes, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm going to be playing Brodie Bridges. He is a bridge guard troll. Well, not troll, an ogre, one might say. And in fact, I would say it. He's a member of the Winter Court, and he is Ottawa's. I don't know if he's the only one, but he is one of their Jack Ketches. He is a Jack Ketch, which is a person who goes around and murders fetches for you. You will pay him, and he will go kill your fetch for you, so that you don't have to. Brodie was a member of the Canadian Armed Forces. I'm pretty sure. I keep thinking he's a Marine, but I just don't want to deal with the cross-border stuff. Either way, he was a serviceman who got drunk and got snatched into Arcadia one night on leave. And woke up, and as Kal was saying, Kal, you said there was kind of video game-like. Brodie's backstory is literally video gamic because his keeper was obsessed with the idea of human games, and particularly this new game called Bridges of Valor that, people were really obsessed with in the mortal world. So he kidnapped a bunch of people who wore uniforms like soldiers and made them play Call of Duty in real life every day.
Oh, actually.
Actually,
It's a good game. I mean,
while possessing one of them at a time and using them as the first-person shooter avatar. So
You ever watched that movie Gamer?
Yeah, it's basically Gamer.
Insane, but incredible.
So Brodie bonded and murdered his friends and I guess squad mates for the period of several years until he was able to escape and leave all of them behind. Because that's exactly what a Marine should do, and that won't damage their psyche at all. Now he works at Starbucks or Luna Coffee or something. He works as a coffee guy and is a washed up 40-year-old PTSD magnet who kills fake people and maybe real people for the mob. Because there's no way you can afford to live in Canada on a Starbucks worker's salary.
Yeah, I was going to say, what year is this?
What year is this?
How many roommates does he have?
Yeah. How many roommates does he have? At least 2, and they always wonder why he comes home with cranberry juice all over him. So he is
digestive tract.
Yeah. So this character, I'm not even going to hide this, was strongly inspired by the show Barry,
which is
the
not
point
Barry, Ontario, for the record.
which is not set in Ontario, but I am
IE.
definitely going to be channeling my my Bill Hader for this.
Excellent. That's our. Wait, do you have more to add?
He's Winter Court because who else would have him? That's it.
Yeah. No, Winter Court's good.
I'm
helped
my
with-
court. I'm spring court. Time to party.
Summer Court. I think I'm the only one. I guess very quick before we go back to Storyteller. Simon and well, everyone here. How much of the court, like what is it? How much do you have to do? Is it just kind of like how your character
they're
feels, or is it an actual role in the?
There are actual roles in the courts, and
You could be a knight.
Yeah, you can be a knight. Your sort of magical connection is based on the mantle merit. The higher it is, the more it manifests. One of the really cool things about fairy mean is how it picks up other things. So, you could be, you could have two beast-seeming, I don't know, we'll pick a kith at some point, but who appears wolves, and in summer they might, they would appear different than as a winter court one, which might have like frost on its mane or leave like snowy footprints and things like that as well. And the mantle, the higher that merit, the stronger it manifests in the area around you. And this is even cool environmental things. Like if you have a high autumn court one, like leaves could fall as you pass by. And they're not falling from any tree. They're falling. Or there's like the smell of like the earth after the snow melts or something to that effect if you're spring court. And then, your direct involvement in the court is really up to you how much you want to be involved in it. You can be courtless. Like most of those things in these kind of games, it's not immediately recommended because having that social structure is highly beneficial.
But I'm a loner, Simon. I've got my trench coat and my katanas.
Well, when we play katanas and trench coats, then you can do that. No joke. It's a real game.
It's a real game.
It is a real game.
So is Highlander the Immortal, the Quickening?
Yeah. There's also Legacy War of Ages, which is like basically that. Trench coats and katanas is kind of like a loving spoof to all of these. It's subtitled "Welcome to Darkest Vancouver" because of everything being filmed there. But it exists, and it's beautiful. Okay. So you could be a loner, but the social structure of it is very helpful to have. But you don't have to be like constantly doing something for them. It's really up to you and what you put into your character, and any obligations are based off of whatever mechanical things that you choose. So.
Nice.
All right.
Winter court represent.
Winter court represent.
We have two autumn courts, right? We have two autumns, one winter, one spring, one summer. Nice.
Yes, we got one of everything in the one autumn court. Did you say dusk court earlier?
I said dusk court is the best court. Fight me.
Dusk court is pretty cool.
They're great. They're just basically like the Starks, right? They're like, yep. Yeah. Well, the end's coming. Better kick some ass while we're here.
I was a big fan in Winter Masks, how they had the sun and the moon court, and one was just, and their emotion for our audience, the emotion of the sun court was based around shame, and moon court around disgust, and the sun court just basically tried to shame you into behaving, and the moon court was all like, we can do whatever we want. It was kind of like an unseelie riff, but not a direct representation of it. But
hate it when the sun yucks my yums.
Basically, yeah. Okay. I guess notes for audience and those in the know. We will be referencing Changeling the Lost 2nd Edition, Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and Kith and Kin. The Hedge book isn't out yet, but whenever that comes out, if it's during this duration and I have time to read it, maybe we'll use that too. It all depends on how hedgy we get. Otherwise, whoa. I think we've made that joke at one point, haven't we? And we're going to again.
Yet.
Not yet. Okay. Maybe we can get anyone in the audience want to take a running total on how frequently we make that the hedge your bets joke. And Hurt Locker too, if anyone really wants to dig into it or has dug into it for various merits and things like that. I suggest it because there are cool fighting styles that could be learned from your time in Arcadia, or depending on what it is, you knew beforehand. But we wouldn't probably be taking the we can't take the supernatural ones, but otherwise, we'll be sticking to the main books for it. No house rules. To my knowledge, I don't think I have any personally for it.
Mhm.
And then
we have 2 channel point redeems that are on for games, Simon, if you want to allow them. One is for willpower.
Mhm.
So people can buy, so the chat can buy players' willpower back, which is probably pretty handy. We have another one where they can buy XP for players. It's pretty expensive, but it's a max of 3 per game, I think.
Okay.
Which,
an actual XP, not beats.
So that'll be those. So for this, it'll be beats.
Okay.
Much more reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we also have, yes, determination. You could allow it that it could be considered like 9 again, maybe if you wanted, but I would just keep the willpower. Make us pay for it.
Okay. Yeah, those are both good. You definitely, having willpower is a good thing.
I have so little of it.
I actually don't remember if I mentioned this to the cast earlier or not, but this can also be helpful for anyone watching too. When it comes to regaining willpower, in this case through your needle and thread, or fulfilling your aspirations, I typically leave that in my games offline. I typically leave that to my players to track and monitor, because that means that's 5 things I'm not tracking, and everyone's always good about that sort of thing. So definitely kind of keep an eye on those. And if you're like, oh, I did this, I'm regaining this willpower, and I haven't said it already, because I'm trying to think of the next miserable thing to inflict upon everybody, please speak up and do it. Or I fulfilled this aspiration. Again, just go with it. Tell me, and we'll change it up. It's just a bit of bookkeeping that I like to leave in the players' hands.
I think it'd be interesting to talk or discuss or be like, oh, hey, would I like regain willpower for like doing this as like part of the the
what's everybody's needle and thread
groups?
Like
storytelling. Yeah,
this part right now, or like when we're in.
Oh, when we're playing and we're regaining like willpower, or kind of like bringing it up or whatever. So then we can share those moments where we feel when our character regains willpower. It's a group thing because it kind of like fosters their identity, right?
Yeah,
it helps you play into the role too, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm totally for that. But yeah, I think also the idea of talking about anchors for the audience might not be the worst thing right now. Is that something that would be done?
Oh, I need a touchstone.
Typically?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Whatever you think. So
sure.
What do people have for their needle and thread? Because I've got my needle is Dynamo. Because he has to like, it sounded like Dynamo was like, you have to be in control. You have to be the one that fixes something. And then his thread is anger.
Nice.
Because he's got anger issues, guys. Prepare to have me stage yell at you. So I don't blow out the mic.
I'm prepared.
I mentioned
Nice.
in the chat what needles and threads are, but in relation to willpower, they fall under the category of things called anchors, and these are things that help, anchor changelings in themselves and the world as part of their identity. And willpower points, you spend them on a variety of things, but one of the probably most common ones and easiest ways to spend it is you spend 1 and you get 3 dice on your next roll, 3 extra dice. So you do want to regain that. And the way they work is each of these archetypes has a criteria for fulfillment where you get back a single willpower point or all your willpower points. which obviously doesn't happen every single time you do that. It's once per session or story. I'm guessing it's probably session. The full refresh. Chapter. Oh, yeah. Okay. So once per chapter. And so
chapter's an episode, right?
Yep. I think it's a fair way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the ones Kelly just mentioned now, Dynamo, you get a single willpower back when you attempt to solve a problem before you have all the information. And you get all your willpower back when you hastily jump to conclusions, putting you or someone else into a dangerous situation. And this also applies to your thread, which is the sort of innate sense of purpose and drive. In this case, Brodie would regain willpower when he starts a fight with someone, and all his willpower when he starts a fight with someone who's clearly his superior. So with that framework in mind, why don't we go back through everybody and you can let everyone know what you've got for your needle and thread. You want to just go in reverse order again?
We can go back normal order. Then we'll just reverse for something else.
We'll reverse and go back, yes, in normal order.
I'll give it to Caitlan.
Okay.
Hello. All right. I have I was just looking up what it means, but you know what? That's okay. I'll just throw it out there. For my needle, I have scholar. Now let me go find it. Page 95. Oh, go back up. Oh no, crap, too far. So far. Oh my gosh. Almost. Yeah. All right. For scholar, the scholar observes and records everything around them and then strives to organize it into neat and orderly systems. Clearly, my speech isn't very organized. To regain a single willpower, interact with and handle the unknown. And all willpower traverse the hedge or another unearthly realm to categorize an unknown element. And my thread as well?
Yeah.
My thread is memory. Now, it may not actually be super relatable for this character, so I might actually have to change it. But I was going through them and I was like, that's the only one I can really think of is that they holding on here. Let me find it.
Feel free to tweak it, and for everybody, if you look like it's close but not quite there, adjust it as you want.
Motivated by memory, seek something from their past. Maybe it's a place they want to go back to, friend they miss, or a long-lost family. So to regain a single willpower, it's ignore a dangerous situation in favor of recreating your memory, which I thought was kind of cool. And all willpowers deny reality in favor of immersing yourself in memory, which I don't know. I just really like those thematically, so I might be able to just work it in there. I think it's really cool.
And of course, I don't know if it's I think a standard rule for a lot of people, but as we're playing through there, if everyone's like, okay, I don't really see this as being quite what I wanted or where I was going with it, I'd like to tweak this here and there. Of course, please do not hesitate if it better envisions what you have in mind. So
sounds good. For most of her, she's like trying to separate herself from who she was, what happened before she was taken. So to have her holding on to memory is kind of weird. So I just have to figure out if that's going to work or how that's going to work. So yeah.
Well, it's any memory.
It's true. So it might be one thing in there that she particularly wants.
All right. Pass it along. Amy,
is it down to me? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. So I am going with provider for my needle. We'll have to see if any of the other ones fit a little bit better, but this is the one that seemed to make the most sense to have for how I'm imagining Jocelyn. So the provider is loyal and generous. She internalizes her friends' and family's issues and treats them as her own. She gives more than she takes and is eager to please. So for that one, single willpower, give up something you care about because someone asks you to. For all willpower, put yourself or someone you love at risk in order to provide for someone else.
It seems
And-
appropriate.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking at the options. A lot of them are very like I don't know, more because she's not a leader. At least she doesn't think of herself as one, and she's not a counselor because she doesn't think she's able to really lead or provide advice or really help. She just thinks that she can just give and provide, I suppose. So I think that'll be interesting to figure how that works. And then for my thread, I picked friendship. So for those motivated by friendship, use strength of the people around them to stay strong. He surrounds himself with people who make him feel loved and wanted and keeps them in mind when things get tough. He won't let them down. Single willpower follow a friend into a situation is clearly disadvantageous to you. All willpower follow a friend into a deadly or dangerous situation. So I feel like I considered family, but I feel like that's too specific.
Mm-hmm.
So
Friendship seems to work pretty well here with what you've been describing.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
All right, cool. Cal?
You ended up going with family?
I went with
you
friendship.
didn't?
I went friendship. I considered family. I went with friendship.
Yeah, you would need at least 4 dots in drive if you took family.
That's true.
Yeah, and
I can help because I have anger, so I'm the furious.
Oh, okay. So Joe's the fast and you're the furious?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think in this case it's more friendship is magic.
Friendship is furious.
Friendship is tragic. My little changeling, friendship is tragic.
Yeah. I guess it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was between counselor and teacher. And I think as it's written, I think I like I like the idea of, sometimes you have to teach somebody a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you've all met people and like you're like, oh man, I can tell this asshole has never been punched in the face.
Right.
Right? Like you meet someone.
I'm not
you're
condoning
like,
punching someone in the face, but
you've gone that many years and I can tell nobody's punched you in the mouth. And everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. What quote is that? Was that Mike Tyson? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mike Tyson.
And I feel like
everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. That's Mike Tyson.
Mouth.
That's how the quote. Mouth.
And I feel like that's teacher more than counselor, right? Because counselor is about like elevating those close to him, which that does fit. But teacher, the write-up as they're written, at least how I'm understanding them, I think teacher fits because teacher says the teacher acts in a way that helps others learn lessons. Not all actions must have meaning, but if others are involved, he seeks to find meaning in order to teach. And I feel like that fits a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So regaining a willpower is giving advice that someone uses and they ultimately succeed. And you regain all your willpower if you risk yourself in order to teach someone else a lesson. And I feel like the fight against like corruption and things that are wrong with the world, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to teach some people some lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be more complex than just I feel like this guy needs to get punched in the mouth.
You're the sweet scientist.
Yeah. Well,
sweet science
minus
teacher.
The science. Yeah, science jutsu.
The boxing called the sweet science.
Oh, right. Yeah, and so I went with teacher. the sweet scientist. I may not have my PhD, but I don't know. And with
we can
Thread,
make that work. Let's workshop that one.
And with Thread, I went with acceptance.
Nice.
I feel like that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to find their place in the world, for people to take them as they are. Feeling needed and wanted are the only things that keep them going. Yeah, that fit them like perfectly. I didn't even read like through the rest of them.
It's also the first one, so it saved you.
It's also the first one, so it saved me a lot of time. Yeah, they regain willpower from ignoring their personal problems to gain someone's favor. And they regain all their willpower when they put themselves at risk to defend someone who needs them. And I feel like that balances with teacher in an interesting way.
It does, yeah. All right, cool. Kelle?
Other Kelle?
Oh, yes. Do you want to
I guess that's me.
Wrap this part?
Yeah. So I think for Agent Dale, the needle and thread is kind of new to me. I don't recall this from the last game, but it's interesting. So I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm leaning more towards her needle being dynamo and just wanting to either to fix things or protector, wanting to do the right things and protect the people in the freehold and in her court, who she can because of her background. So I'm still kind of alternating. I'm not 100% sure, but I will have it narrowed down, I think. But protector might be better suited, just because the idea of how they gain willpower. For protector, getting the single willpower by ignoring your own needs while acting to protect someone else. That's kind of how I envision this character, making sure that would go without, would put themselves in at risk in order to save somebody else, because that's kind of what she did. When she was the prey, she was the prey so that somebody else could gain the favor by winning the game or that game or something. So that's kind of how I'm leaning towards that one. Now that I'm talking about it, I think protector probably is her needle. As for thread, I want to say that it's either more anger or revenge, because this is her experience. She is scarred. This is like big mental scars, and it's just like she's just, nobody's going to go through this again. She will never go through this again, and it's going to be cold day in hell. You will drag me back kicking and screaming. If I go down, I'm taking everyone with me, kind of thing. So anger, revenge, hate, it's all kind of the same thing, but I don't know that that revenge is really the way I want to play it, but definitely anger. So anger probably fits better. So looking at protector and anger.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the way she's gonna go. Yeah.
Excellent.
Anger.
Cool. Very nice. Okay. How much time do we have? Just
whatever you need.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's really up to all of you, because energy and whatnot, and brain power. But so I was thinking, we did sort of bat around the ideas of kind of wrapping up a few things, and I don't necessarily think like everything on the character sheet has to be done like tonight, right now, or anything of that sort. But one of the things that might be fun to talk through and to work through for your characters would be kind And also, maybe a little helpful for me to position everybody would be, are you locals who came back? I know in Isabel's case that's not the case. You specifically said she's from out of town. And how long have you been back in this freehold, in other freeholds? And then how did everyone meet? Was it in a bar? Was it on an adventure? Was it during a crisis of some sort? But what is it that made you a motley? Do you have a primary role you fulfill for the freehold, or is this your found family and you're perfectly happy just sticking with that? But if danger rears its ugly head or adventure calls, then you step forward with what you have available. Does that seem like something people have the interest in doing right now, or do you want to talk that offline?
I think that's a good call. That's probably better done here than in between, like texting back and forth, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to do? Like, do you want to just be the found family trope? Do you want to do... Brodie is a very passive character a lot of the time, so I want to let you guys like weigh in more than me.
Okay.
So who's the boss? Is it Jocelyn?
Oh god, I don't think she thinks she's a boss, but she could be.
I
Is
feel
she the
like
social
Jocelyn's
mover?
the face, but there's someone behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
who's actually the leader.
Is it Isobel?
It could be Isobel.
You're
Dale
the
doesn't
one
want
with
to be, but if nobody acts, she will.
and the wherewithal. Someone with the wherewithal to keep things together, because I think Jocelyn's a lot more focused on just making sure everyone's looked after.
Oh,
You're also a very very diverse group in terms of courts as well. So not only do you span all of them, you do double up on Autumn, which always depending on the freehold itself varies, but I always see them as kind of the least overtly political in a sense, because they're not that they're more passive, but they aren't the like, we gotta go fight the fairy like the summer court is, or everyone hide away. It's let's figure this thing out. Oh yeah, for the folks at home, the motivating emotion of the autumn court is fear, and they do this through any means possible. Like one of my favorite examples was infiltrating PTAs and getting everybody to stay in their houses by spreading rumors about like abductions and that sort of thing. And by doing that, that means that they keep everybody watching each other and keep the neighborhood watch active. So the fairy really can't kind of come around and go yoink as easily. And you look at it and go, that's terrifying and really horrible. But that's one of the ways they work. So, so yeah, because you are like on every court group, how do you see your role in the freehold? It could be as something for the freehold itself, right? So, the Justice League, kind of everybody is from different groups but works together on this thing. Although your characters, being PCs, I imagine, are going to be a little more emotionally invested in each other than just like straight up work colleague kind of things. But
what's the freehold cultures like? Like, do we have regular goblin markets? Do we have regular meetings? Like, what's the deal?
So, I guess a Also, a short bit about the freehold itself. It's called the Freehold of the Last Hanged Man. It is an organization. As an organization, it is motivated by things like justice and social justice and sort of ensuring the rights and freedoms of all people. The Last Hanged Man was I can't remember the year in which it was done, but it was the last time. This in reference to the last time that Canada, I guess, officially executed somebody for crimes, and that was a very, I guess, a controversial situation because of the people involved, and that they had come from very difficult backgrounds and things like that, such that there was this statement of literally society is to blame for this. And so the idea of the Last Hanged Man is to make sure society doesn't do that. And there are regular goblin markets. I wouldn't put too many of them. There's one literally in the market downtown, which you reach by going under an arch. I think it's on George Street, but I will confirm which arch I'm thinking of. And then monthly, there's one in Lansdowne Park, which actually does have a weekly farmers market and a holiday market as well. But if you go through a door in the Aberdeen Pavilion at the right time of day, you get to the monthly goblin market that's held there. What those whether they are both specifically thematic ones or not, I haven't quite decided yet, but those are the two major ones.
Goblin markets are the best thing in this game. I'm sorry,
yeah,
they are.
Cool. They're very cool.
I was thinking about them and thought about that one whole session we had with a goblin market.
Oh,
yeah,
basically.
That was when I came in.
Yeah, that was you were playing a goblin.
Yeah, and I ran my own little.
I do recall.
It was so good.
Little stall.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I had a bunch of people come in and run stalls, and I told them to bring all the weirdest crap in their house.
And I did.
That one was
You
fun.
did.
Asked me if they could keep it. Can I keep this? No. Your character does, but out of character, I need that back.
But I traded for it.
Only 5 years
This is my
off the end
real
of your
stuff.
life.
A great example for our audience of a goblin market is if you've ever read Neil Gaiman's books of magic. When they're in the third book, when they're in Fairy specifically, it's a place where you can buy and sell conceptual things, ideas, taking off, as people said, a year or two of your life, or a memory of something in exchange for something equally ephemeral or bizarre. So that's my little definition there.
I'm going to trade my ability to pat my head and rub my stomach for a cool pair of shoes.
Yeah, there you go. And turns out those cool pair of shoes, get you a bonus on I don't know,
Dancing, obviously.
dancing or seduction rolls or something like that.
Same thing. I'm sorry,
some-
baby. The shoes stay on.
For some,
Hey, I just need to say, I asked it. I'm like, wait a second, what does my character do for their day job? Because I'm like, oh shoot, looking at at merits and trying to be like, do I want resources? Because some of that I think might be available for the hall, the motley or the hollow or however that works.
yeah, we got.
I'm like, okay, so what's their day job? And then pretty much I'm like, so what? Like an athlete, like a swimsuit model? Because she's like a fish mermaid person, and every single one of them goes lifeguard immediately.
Yeah, you're a lifeguard.
didn't
That's
tell
fine.
me.
Look at their needle and thread. It's just. But what
Y'all
if
are
they're
ridiculous.
a
They're just super
lifeguard,
fast.
but
Well, where
a
are you
swimsuit model on the side?
Yeah,
You
totally.
could be a model, but it's you couldn't be an actress in Ottawa.
I'm just thinking
no,
like
no, not an
Baywatch.
actress.
Oh, can you?
You can if you do exclusively
Baywatch
Hallmark
Ottawa?
movies.
Yes.
A lot of Hallmark movies are filmed in Ottawa, and it's
I'm not doing an
The
act.
rest are filmed in Sydney.
Baywatch.
Oh my
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, now you're a Hallmark actress.
because when
Rory did an act.
Baywatch.
Oh, she's a
Good.
stunt double. Never mind.
if you live in like I don't know LA or New York or wherever, right? And there's all these shows set there, and you go, well, that's not actually it, or that's supposed to be DC, but that's actually New York. That's the park down the street or something like that. To see something like that for Ottawa is bizarre. It's like that's not a cafe, that's a toy store. That's not the. And now, mind you, there aren't many in that area, so it's very distinct how that happens. But yeah, Hallmark.
I have to call this out because Amy, I think that Jocelyn should do some online photography of herself on OnlyFans.
I knew it was coming as soon as you.
Am I allowed to like give you negative beats at the start?
You can beat me.
You can absolutely take them away, or just beat him. I don't know. Like just call Robin or Christine. Somebody will do that for
But
you.
yeah, these are good questions. Like if
I'll let the story do it for me.
Maybe
Like,
they'll just
okay,
have a
so-
beach off.
so
But,
you
that's a
get
good question.
so Brodie
I'll-
gets paid
beat you
to.
off.
Hey, stop beaching with.
I'll
each
beat
other.
you. I'll beat you. I can beat all of y'all. I got two hands. I can beat you. Beat
wanna
both
beach
of you off
off?
at once. You want to beach
Did-
off?
Did anyone else notice in the chat earlier that what was it? I can't search it, can I? But like, what was it? For Jocelyn's needle thread, something like that. Someone just said beach.
Beach.
Yeah.
That could
Oh, I
be your
missed that.
touchstone.
That's
the
pretty
beach.
funny.
Touchstone.
There,
Oh, no.
there are a few. You might have more luck in the lakes in Gatineau than.
Yeah, stick to the rivers and the
Mhm.
lakes that you're used to.
Well, I'm just thinking of like Mooney's Bay is a sizable body of water that would have lifeguards and it's deep enough. And sometimes there's a pirate ship out there in the summer, but I've definitely gone in there in the summer and come out with my hair a shade lighter or two. Once it hit the sun. So I'm not quite sure what's in that water and whether, you'd want to spend much time there. So,
Hmm.
Well, I
Over
figured it would be for like a
summer
swimming
seasons.
pool, not an actual beach.
sure. Yeah.
But-
yeah. Well, that would also help year round too. It wouldn't be a seasonal position in the same way.
Yeah, I will have to do some thinking about what it is because it might be a bunch of part-time things. Might be like a mix of like swimsuit and like, and I'm not saying like sexy swimsuits. I'm thinking like the
Sears
one
catalog.
piece you're in a like this is you are
The
posing for
Zeller's
the
catalog.
athletes. Yeah,
The
like
Zeller's
this is not
catalog.
attractive. Someone has to wear those. Why not?
One thing I noticed when I was young and had nothing better to do going through is that there's actually only like 8 models in entire Sears catalog.
You expected more?
Yeah, different body types, but no, they just got like four ladies with like different builds and like 4 dudes with slightly different builds, and they wear everything.
All
But
at once.
you rarely see their faces.
Economical, I suppose.
Yeah. So you could be like 30% of like Zeller's summer catalog.
Yeah. It's got to pay at least something, right?
It's been popular. People are happy to see
Yeah.
the Zeller's name back.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, what is this modern?
Zeller's
What
is
year is
back?
this?
Oh,
Have you
yeah. I was
mentioned
going to say it's
Yeah, Zeller's is back.
I'm going to set it now. It's 2024.
Okay,
right, good.
Okay.
It's just easier that way. And
But to jump back as to like how our characters meet, like what they
Yeah.
do, like they're in different courts, but so like Brodie like takes out fetches for
Yep.
people.
Like not on dates, unless.
Unless, well, hey,
Well,
they both
it's
cost
a
the
good
same.
cover.
Hey.
And you're an investigator, and you're like a notary. Kelle's an investigator. Isobel's like a notary.
She's like a librarian.
Jocelyn's a
She works
model.
at the university.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
notary is
pretty
the kith. It's a little.
yeah.
So, like, how would our characters all know each other or work together? Like,
I mean, we could have met at a coffee shop or something like
Yeah.
that. And we
I
would have
work
been
at a
like,
coffee shop.
you!
Mhm.
But there
The
you go. But we
coffee
would
is
have
a
been
great
like,
idea.
because we can see through each other's masks, right? So we'd be like, ah,
Mhm.
you.
oh, it's like Grimm.
Yeah.
You can see other.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But those
Yeah, this
normies,
is
they
like
can't
Grimm.
see us. So it really could have been a random meeting at a
Or is
coffee shop.
Grimm like this?
Yeah, a little bit of both. My dog is staring at me right now with this weird look on his face.
You know something is up.
You know something? Have you been
Okay,
looking,
yeah.
Grim?
So it could just be, hey, wait a second. Like the Spider-Man, we were all in a coffee shop and just pointing at each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. Yeah. Oh, you're also a changeling. Well, what happened to you?
It could have. Who do you think is the most recent escapee
Oh, yeah.
or
very good.
returnee? Because I kind of like the idea of, instead of it just being like a you meet in a tavern kind of thing, like the idea of the whole group pulling someone, helping the newest of us like get out as their intro kind of.
Yeah.
Or does that make sense, or is that interfering with the?
No. Like we could have like they could be like we could have we could do flashbacks to it if we don't want to.
Because I like the idea of it like being a rescuer's like rescuer down under.
We get to ride on a giant
where,
bird.
like, we go and save. Yeah. We ride on a giant. What was it? An albatross?
The
It was seagull, I believe.
Oh, was he just?
No,
a
he
seagull?
was an albatross.
Oh, because
fair.
the kangaroo mouse, he had to like make the landing really big. Yeah. I love that.
Let's run with that
the
idea.
rescuers.
And so the idea of like going and pulling someone out, what's the space in between
The
like the
hedge.
Fae and like going there and like the people that can't quite make it on their own, like
Yeah.
rescue team,
Mm.
especially because then that'll kind of like
That's very summer
Give a-
court.
a positive. that
Winter
gives a
court's like, no, I'm good. I'm good, man.
Okay, I was
Hey,
gonna
it'll
say
be
because
fun.
that puts a positive spin on Brodie's trauma, where he can
So,
do
like,
it for good.
If you're going into the hedge looking for stragglers, that's one thing. If you're going back to Arcadia, no.
No, not.
Oh.
I don't think we're there yet.
Fortunate Son starts playing in the background.
Oh, we're not coming back home. If hey, maybe that's a good outro. Play Fortunate Son and royalty-free Fortunate Son, which is just Kelly humming the.
All I have been doing is
3
all I've been
seconds.
doing is fighting copyright claims over vacation. So no.
Oh god.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, it'll just be just
didn't-
us humming it.
I didn't do anything
Yeah.
wrong. Let me just put it that way.
can-
I didn't do anything wrong.
That would actually work really well with a little bit of what I've thought through on the summer court so far. In the little bit of like preamble backstory of the area, so like things that have come before when we start. I was going to have there be a coup attempt in the summer over who would be the summer monarch, and that would be over an ideological difference in how to approach the hedge. So there's this group known as bridge burners who, much like their name, want to just sever all connections with Arcadia and the hedge as much as possible, because that way they don't ever have to worry about the ferry coming through there. And so I thought we'd have a bridge burner summer court here, try to take wrest control from the current monarch, who is much more, but we should keep it open because of people. We can help rescue them, and bring them back through. And so that could fit depending on where Beau wants to, what side of that he wants to fall on, but could also work into having, either just or during that time, rescued one of the motley from the hedge via a local portal. And then it wouldn't, it might not be immediately having happened, but it could be, a few months prior, basically, 2 seasons ago. And they're still getting their feet. And the rest of the motley's kind of, guiding them through, setting them up, establishing them. And why you were all in the hedge could be for whatever reason. But it would fit into what I had thought of for freehold events prior to this.
Yeah, and I was just thinking that Jocelyn's looking for her brother, and she hasn't found him in the mundane world, and she knows that she didn't leave it, like he's not back with their keeper. So I think she would be very much up for looking through the hedge to find any stragglers to see, like, while she's looking for them, and anyone who would assist with that. So that's very much a motive to
go back.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Well, I'm liking that idea. How's everyone else feeling on that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kelly said, that's going and getting the stragglers is a very much a summer court thing. So I feel like I chose the right one there.
You're nailing it.
And so that would definitely be up my alley for potential role-playing directions.
Yeah. Brodie would be very resistant to that, but would be easily able to be convinced if other people were going in without him, or without backup because of past drama and guilt.
I think Dale
I should have took counselor. Then I could have been Brodie's counselor.
Yeah, it could totally have been Isobel that was plucked from the hedge, because I wanted her vision to be wrecked, so she's legally blind. Not like her eyes are plucked out or anything, but because they were by her keeper, they were plucked out because she doesn't need them, right? She's just a living document. She doesn't need her eyes. But then I was like, that would make it really, if she doesn't have any glasses, it would make it really hard to get started kind of on her own. I mean, she could do it, but I just think it would be good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I had thought that maybe they were the group's founder, but that's interesting if she's the newer. You know what I mean? Because as far as glue goes, it's hard for me to picture who, or maybe Beau is the glue. Or maybe we don't know yet.
No,
maybe not.
Oh, I mean, it could go either way. I'm totally fine with either.
But they could be the newest. Maybe that's how the group got together. They pulled Isobel out. And them, their vision being affected, or them having trouble getting all the way out, kind of fits with us, Seal 6 pulling Isobel the rest of the way out, because then there's symbolism with not her vision being bad, but also not being able to navigate the hedge without
once
help.
The fairy magic is kind of dissipating and she's getting more into the mundane world, it's trickier.
Hey, do you want to work on getting your eyes back? I could totally kill your fetch and we could give you her eyes.
These are just marbles. These are just buttons.
What?
No, they're eyeballs. I pulled them out of its head.
Actually, that's one of my aspirations. Not to actually get new eyeballs, but to get an eyeball because of one of my contracts.
Okay. This is gonna be a great team,
I'm like looking
everybody.
at the contracts. I'm like looking at the loopholes. Nice. All right. Okay. We got to get this item. We got to get this. All right.
How many eyes, like when Brodie opens up his jacket, like what are you buying? How many different sets of eyes does he just have in little jars?
Yes.
Like contacts. Oh, okay.
Enough. How many do you have? I'm working on the voice, guys. I gotta chew my words. It's gonna be, how many do you have?
I love it. Oh my god.
That's a little bit like a slowed down Alan Rickman.
How do you? Well, yeah, into the Rickman verse.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I also was wondering, just like, how much do we know about our hollow? If we have a hollow, right?
yeah.
Yeah, good
Just something we
question.
need to figure out.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
the last thing
Hollow.
we should do, probably.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
works for me. So I think I gave everybody a free point in the Merit Hollow because I realized that 2 points basically let you buy almost everything.
So we got 2 points.
No, 1 point.
Damn.
Nice try.
Almost got him. Almost got him on camera.
No, my camera is glitching, right? So it didn't happen.
Damn it.
Yeah, so everyone gets 1 point, a bonus point in the Merit Hollow. For those of you at home, a hollow is an area of the hedge that has been carved out, so to speak, by whomever as like a little home, hidey hole domain, depending on its size. It could be a small town. And it has an entrance. It may have a different exit. It may have a secret entrance or exit, but it's basically where, if a motley takes it, it's a group merit. So perk, whatnot, that they can all pool their points in to get like cool features for it. So it's their like hidey hole base of operations. So that is what we will wrap the session discussing then. And do you want to do the mechanics of it too? Like figure out where you want to put your points? Should we just all open the book to the hollow merit?
It's page 116. Page 116.
116.
Might I suggest a couple that are ridiculous?
Yeah.
Okay. Hobalarm. A group of somewhat friendly hobgoblins lives in your hollow, and they alarm you to things.
That's awesome.
You
I
just
was-
scream when
I love that.
Alert! Alert!
Has anyone taken Popkin? Because
Yeah.
I was actually looking at that.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
How many
This is-
voices can Simon do? There we go.
Right?
at once? You'll be surprised.
Oh, good.
We are
Luxury
legion.
goods. You have hedge spun luxury good like crystalline televisions that play unaired,
Wow.
unrecorded episode of canceled TV shows. This is just Cal's dream.
6 seasons in a movie.
hold on. There's like magical TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely magical TV.
You can
He'll
watch
never come on an
season
adventure.
10
He'll
of
just be watching
Firefly.
whatever's in TV.
You can watch the seasons 2 through 10 of Firefly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't tempt me.
And yet you can't
Phantom
get
phone
6 through
booth?
15 of Supernatural.
The Phantom phone booth looks
Ooh,
cool.
I like that.
It's a
Yeah.
mounted boar's head singing pool of water or whatever else that you can call any public phone without knowing its number.
Without knowing the exact digits, and attempts to trace the call don't work. The Phantom phone booth has no number for incoming calls and though it occasionally receives calls meant for out of service numbers. Oh, so you just
Ooh,
get
I
like
it.
mystery calls.
Mystery call.
So-
Size matters is pretty good.
It's bigger on the
So-
inside then.
Yeah, at 1 point it means that we have like enough room for all 5 of us. At 2 points we have a vast town where we could walk around and not even necessarily see each other.
It really
So it's a
jumps.
TARDIS. Makes
it
it a TARDIS.
escalates a lot. Yeah.
Do we want a TARDIS?
Without the size matters.
TARDIS.
It's big enough for
Probably
2
one
changelings
dot.
to sleep comfortably. So
Probably
Okay.
1 dot if there's just 5 of us, right?
Well, let's see. Okay, I will take a size matters 1.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I will
I
dedicate
will
my point to
snag
that.
Hob alarm.
Okay.
You took
Cal-
Hopkins too?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Cal, you need to grab luxury goods
Luxury goods.
so you get the TV.
Where was that?
It's
luxury
116 is
goods.
below Hob alarm.
Oh,
Okay,
luxury
so Caitlan and Kelle, what are you thinking?
I want the phone booth.
Okay, phone booth.
goods. I'll take. So we all have Hollow 1.
We all have Hollow 1. All right, so the ones that you can afford, Caitlan, are Escape Route 1, Size Matters 2, and that's it.
Route 0,
Ooh.
Sorry, where
Oh,
does
and Route
this go?
0, Route 0. Under your merits.
Shadow
my
Garden. Shadow Garden's not bad if you want some
Shadow
goblin
Garden?
fruit. Oh no, sorry,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not.
I took luxury goods.
Oh, I see.
So what do you think,
Sorry,
Caitlan?
it's not actually.
Sorry, I was talking to the
Oh.
chat. I was looking at
That's
the
okay.
chat. Let's see.
Are there any in the other book?
I don't think so. I'll do a quick check though. The glories of the modern age and Control F on PDFs.
All right.
How dare you.
Hollow.
So Dale took
dude,
the
I
phone
forgot.
book.
Yep.
I mean, escape route might be good. What does 2? Oh wow, I don't think we need the vast estate or small town.
Oh, you sure you don't want to have a TARDIS?
Uh,
You could be our doctor.
oh gosh. I am like the least qualified person to do that because I have no idea anything about Doctor Who at all.
That sounds like you could be a showrunner.
I
Yeah.
Neither did Chris Chibnall.
No.
Just
I
make shit
actually
up.
voiced a nurse in
Works for them.
someone's fan-made episode, but that's all I know. I know people by name. In any case, let's see. I do think escape route is a good idea.
Okay, cool.
Escape route.
Yeah.
Probably is a very good idea. Yeah.
So, because if like, so that we have more than just one entrance and exit to our hollow, so that if something comes
Mhm.
through the front door, we can like piece some other way, and only we'll know where that is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
All right.
Do it.
Only
I think
we
that's
know where
very
it is.
Isobel anyway. Yeah.
Yep.
Let me read it
Hidden
to
entry?
you.
Escape route.
Escape route. So, whether someone invades the hollow or a clever huntsman waits for a changeling at the hedge entrance to her den, sometimes it's important to be able to bug out. At 1 dot, the one-way exit is a secure, stationary place within the hollow's borders. Either way, only characters who have contributed merit dots to the hollow and to those whom they give permission can use the escape route. So it is stationary. It is somewhere, but only we know, or only we can use it.
Oh, easy access is like you just walk through any door and you're there.
You spend glamour and you go through.
So the 1 dot hollow we got for free, is that going like towards that like this?
One dot hollow is just to give you the chance. You can always spend more merit points on hollow, and
Oh, I meant like what we're spending like together for this now. Is hollow its own thing and then we're buying things in the hollow, or this 1 dot that we have in this, is it applying to these different things? Like the one free dot we had?
Yeah. Yes. So each dot in the
Okay, I
hollow.
see.
Right,
So I can use my free dot that I have in it for luxury goods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So then technically if we wanted like easy access or hidden entry, we could use our merit.
Yep.
Yeah, merit.
You could use a merit
points.
point, yeah.
And then if 3 of us put 1 dot in it, we could have easy access. So if we were like running away from someone or whatever, we could just like go through like a door and pop up in our
town.
our
If you
little-
want it
yeah.
to be that.
Okay, so we have luxury goods, phantom phone booth, escape route.
kind of like how everyone's getting so far, like everyone's getting one of these things, and I'm kind of picturing the hollow growing or creating each one of these as that changeling sort of takes up home in there. So Jocelyn brings like the hobgoblin friends.
Is that what you chose?
My buddies.
Yeah,
I took Hobkin,
Hob
so we have the
alarm.
Hob alarm.
so like Bo shows up and he's like, "Where's the TV?" And then boom, grows the TV.
Yeah.
And there's no escape route till Isobel shows up, for example.
You guys have
Exactly.
one exit? Oh,
Yeah,
I do.
that works out too because she had just escaped from
I just love the idea of Isobel just like wiping some like spider webs away from an exit sign and being like, there was an exit here the whole time, guys.
And then we just
How
put
did
them,
I
like,
see it?
Yeah.
And
piece of
just a dust
wood over
mask
it,
and like
so
an
nobody
apron.
notices. Yeah.
Cola bottle glasses.
Yeah.
My glasses, my glasses.
I know.
So what does our hollow look like? Because I know when we were chatting briefly before, there was talking about like something related to a hotel because I wanted a swimming pool, but I have no idea if any of that was actually going to stick around or if there was thoughts about that.
Oh,
or
I love that.
forgot
What about
that.
like an old dilapidated hotel that's like in the hedge, of course?
Mhm.
What about the hotel from Angel? Do you guys remember that hotel?
Yeah, I love that hotel.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's got the big lobby and like
Oh, what
Oh,
did
thanks,
you
good.
choose, Kelly, for the?
I chose Size Matters 1.
Okay, so we have some comfortable accommodations.
Yeah, we have enough room for 5 or 6 of us.
And apparently a bunch of hobgoblins.
Yeah.
A bunch of hobbies. I just picture them like playing the
They're
arcade
hobbyists.
machines and
Mhm.
I like this.
Sounds good. They're down there playing the Simpsons arcade game 2.
I know exactly what that is.
Yeah. There never was a second one, but they're playing it.
And it still takes 75 quarters.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Or it takes tokens that like only they seem to be able to. Like we have to be nice to the hobs because it only takes tokens that they somehow have acquired.
They're all Johnny Z's
Yeah.
tokens specifically.
Or
Oh my
Aladdin's
god,
Castle
I
in the
think I
States.
still have some.
I have one. Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese's. They're all
Ooh.
Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Oh, that.
We're all abandoned Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Oh
We
my
need to come
God.
up with another name for this. Hold on.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Another name
I
for
mean, it's not
like a
Five
Chuck E.
Nights at
Cheese.
Freddy's.
oh,
Give me an alternate name
Hi,
for
GPT.
Bing.
Chuck E.
Or is it in chat?
Cheese.
Are you on Bing or chat?
I'm on chat.
These are gonna be good. As it scours Reddit.
Oh
for
my
something.
god, these are great. This is the only way you should use. Okay, Cheese Haven,
Whoa.
Rodent Rendezvous,
Oh my god.
I like it.
Whisker World, Cheddar Champ Arcade.
That one.
Cheddar
It's that
Champ.
one.
Hold on.
Oh, are
It
we in
gets-
an old
there-
arcade?
There is an arcade in this place. You pay for it. There's
Oh,
Pizza Paws Paradise,
Ooh.
Cheese
Like
Central,
PAW.
Mice Mania, Pizzatopia Playhouse, and Gouda Galaxy Games. I am a big fan of.
Gouda Galaxy Games.
Good Galaxy
Uh,
games.
I really
No?
like Cheesy Champ or whatever it was.
Here, hold on. I'll pop it. So here, I'll pop
It's
it in
something
the.
different for
It was a
Which one
everybody.
did
cheesy,
you
it was
like?
a cheddar. I don't remember.
Which one did you like?
Me?
Yeah.
I really liked Pizzatopia Playhouse,
That's not bad.
Pizza Paws Paradise. Oh, Furry Fun Factory is another one I missed.
Very fun fact.
I don't- I
Oh,
don't
that's
know
something
about
else
that.
entirely.
Cheddar Champ Arcade, Pizza Paws Paradise, and Pizzatopia Playhouse are all my preferred.
Cheddar Champ Arcade. I like
Cheddar
that.
Champ.
Anyone else?
I would go with, yeah.
You know what?
Cheddar
I
Champ.
know it exactly.
Yeah.
We've got about 10 minutes left in the stream. I'm gonna put up a poll for the ones I like.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the chat choose. Let them fight.
Oh my
And so
Lord.
this is
Yeah.
the dilapidated.
Hotel.
Wait. Do the hobs look like normal people to humans? Like, do they have a glam? What's it called when you look
maybe?
like a normie to normies?
Well, this is in the hedge, so they wouldn't.
You mean a seeming?
Oh, this is in the hedge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would Brodie feel
so you don't need
safe
to worry about that.
there?
Oh,
In the
yeah.
hedge, yes.
Okay.
The hedge is kind of it's an in-between place, right? It's its own.
Right. Yeah.
There we go.
And it was mentioned before, but for the folks at home, the huntsmen are agents of the true Fae that are the ones that actually go and really, hunt down escaped changelings and so on and so forth. And they can mill about in the hedge and things like that too. So if we refer to huntsmen, that's who we are. It's in a very kind of Snow Whitey way. They are like that person.
Do they
also
all
the
look like
original-
Chris Hemsworth?
They all look like Chris Hemsworth in various different costumes to represent the kind of huntsman.
Well, so much, guys. I'm a privateer now.
So we can die now, right?
You can what now?
We can die, correct?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So the huntsmen want to bring us back alive, presumably.
Yeah, the Fae don't like when people escape, because they got you for a reason, right? Like even if you were, a particularly nice candlestick, they still
One
want it.
day they'll notice that their candlestick is missing.
Exactly. Yeah, and they'll send the huntsman.
Jocelyn was like part of a neglected fish tank.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, a bunch of them would just be dead.
Yeah, I think it went in cycles. Like they would get really interested and be like, "Oh, look, oh yeah, the fish," and then introduce a bunch of them, and then kind of forget as something else grabbed their attention. So then the whole bunch would just die from neglect and starvation, or however that works, probably, or would just be recycled out because they stopped looking pretty enough.
Right.
So you
And
stay
then
alive by
A bunch of new ones
having to
would be
eat.
brought in.
having to
or
eat some other
something.
fish.
I hadn't thought about that, but maybe.
Because there's a reason you survived. Don't
Yeah, I guess
worry.
so.
How human-like did these fish look? Really?
I mean, I don't know, mermaidy fish? Fishy? Do not make me think about it too hard.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you ever play that Dreamcast game, Seaman?
Oh no, we're not talking about Seaman.
I've not played.
We're not talking about
Dreamcast ever.
Seaman.
Okay, you've heard about
Just
it.
Google it.
But I will say, considering I think I took provider, right, as
Oh yeah.
my needle provider, yeah. So I could see that being a helping make sure, because I said she and her brother were both there, making sure that they both survived. Probably meant giving some stuff up.
Mm.
Might have been some morality. Who knows?
Who needs morality? All right, I think we can probably call it right now. Cheddar Champ Arcade is kicking ass.
Hell yeah.
Cheddar Champ Arcade is pretty good.
Cheddar Champ Arcade. All right. So I guess we need a name for what the hotel was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello. Hey, hi,
Hello,
my old
Cullah.
friend.
Cheddar Champ Arcade.
You're in the old Chuck E. Cheese's that burned down and got pulled into the hedge as a ghost.
Yeah, what if it was an old... What if the outside of it is Cheddar Champ Arcade?
But the inside is a hotel.
No, but the inside is our hollow.
Oh, so the entrance is through a door in the abandoned Cheddar Champ Arcade?
Yeah.
Could do. I really want a swimming pool, though.
Yeah, we need a hotel.
Oh, I think we need someone needs to put a point into size matters.
I put 1 point
Again,
in.
right?
Yeah,
Because you put one in.
I think I have a couple merit points left. I could put one in to get it to 2. so that we could have a bigger place.
Because 2 is huge. That would be like hotel
That'd be like a
size.
manor. Yeah.
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 Because it says 2 is big enough where you might be present and not like run across each other's paths. So that would be like the
Yeah.
Empress Hotel, local talk. That
Mhm.
like, or at least the bottom floor of like the Empress, possibly, right? Like how big? Or maybe I'm nitpicking in it.
No, I think it probably should be one more
I'm
dot.
tossing
if
a
it's a hotel.
second dot.
Well, we could
into
also have
Cullah
like
then.
one. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm
So it
good
has
with
a pool. Okay, so this is huge.
'Cause I need a pool.
Oh yeah, it is very big.
Well, then maybe
Probably
maybe
not
it
a
is
big
kind of
pool.
like a big, like a small hotel. Maybe it's a bed and breakfast. Kelly, would you say that 2 dots in that size matters would be shoot, what was the place that you worked at?
Let's not name names.
Okay, yeah.
But
a small boutique
but
experience.
an award-winning boutique hotel in Canada. No, because maybe now because they have more than 23 rooms now. I think two dots is enough that you can actually have just an old hotel.
Should we just
Oh yeah, 2
Yeah,
dots.
it's like
is-
have an old-
2 is like a grand estate. I thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
This escalates drastically between the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
should we just have like a place like that?
Yeah.
The Ottawa Heritage Hotel, the Edwardian, the Dominion Hotel,
I love that. That's
the
great.
Dominion Hotel.
And because we've got all my hobs, my hobalarm,
cheddar-
hobkin, friendos.
So do the hobs they can like they can like man the like they can be the staff, right?
Like the bell
Right.
hops or whatever they called. They
Yeah.
got little caps. Give them little caps.
Yes.
Oh,
How about, to not throw away the arcade name, what if that's the because we have escape route, right? What if
Well, just say that the hotel and the arcade got smashed into each other by the hedge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that?
Or it used to be a games room in the hotel when they tried to rebrand in the 90s before they shut down.
Ooh, yes.
I like it.
Like all the arcades that got decommissioned on BC ferries.
Yeah, it has luxury goods. So it has magic arcade.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And one animatronic hob.
oh my goodness.
Who is in a different place each night.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Every
that's-
time.
Give me a name
that's
for
Teddy.
an Anna.
No, that's Teddy.
So it's 5 nights at Teddy's.
Chetty?
Teddy's. Teddy.
Chetty.
Because it's
God.
cheddar.
Teddy.
What was it?
Oh,
Ched-
Chetty.
ched- cheddar
5
champ
nights at
arcade.
Teddy's.
Chetty. I thought you were saying
Okay.
Teddy. I'm like,
Teddy.
so
Yeah, I
he
thought you were
went
saying
missing
Teddy
in
as well.
Mage and he showed up here.
Cheddar Champ Arcade with the mascot Chetty.
Chetty Chase. Chetty Chase.
Chetty Chase, yeah.
Because he
So
chases you.
There's an
Oh,
He's got
iconic
an
game.
yeah, Chetty Chase.
Five Nights at Chetty.
It's like caption, like tag.
Chat. Our royalty-free name of one of the video games that you can play in our hotel is 5 Nights at Chetty's.
Well,
That's a great way to end.
I'm gonna have,
all right. So there you go, Simon.
trying to voice Chetty here. Especially
Hi.
No, you just need to have grinding metal.
Yeah, there's no voice anymore.
Sparks.
It just,
Yeah, just
kind of
pick up
grinds.
your dice and grind them.
what was that? What did you say, Chetty?
You want me to kill everybody in their sleep?
just find some grinding car mechanical sounds on YouTube.
I should invest in Ethereum.
There we go. We
I
found Chetty.
swear, Kelly, it's so funny you bring that out because I was listening on the radio on the way home tonight. There was a new radio ad for Tedford Doors, and I swear that is the sound that they use at the end of it. Not that one.
Right. I'm proud of it. Okay. Nice, all right.
I keep looking for it. I can't find one.
You got to go to Dollarama, man. They
I
have the best.
Dollarama.
You got the crap Dollarama. You gotta go to the Dollarama down the street, not up the road. All right, so Simon, anything else you want to touch on, or are we pretty much done?
I think we're in good shape. No, I think we're good. So
all right,
we'll just do the other stuff offline. And I was I don't know. I guess I could mention on stream. I was thinking of doing like the sort of NPC list, locations list, and so on and so forth over on my blog. So if people wanted to like keep track, or like, you know, the audience included lexicon of, wait, who's that again? They could just hop on over there. I don't know if that's...
And don't forget, you can also add it to our wiki.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just do it there. That works
because
fine.
We have a full wiki at Dorktales Wiki. We even have wiki people that do wiki things.
Okay,
wiki.
Well, that's perfect then. I will use that.
If you have any questions, just message Random Equinox.
All right. Dorktales Wiki.
Wonderful to Wiki Lord.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, I'll use that then. So yeah, I'll start populating that as things go. Very cool.
Oh, it's great, right?
Yeah. Smart idea.
It's very, very sprawling. It gets bigger every day. It's great. Do you want us to do outros?
Sure.
Who wants to go first? I guess, should we go in reverse order, starting with Kelle?
Sure.
Who are you? Where you been?
I don't know. Who am I? I'm Kelle. I'm Kelle from up the road. Looking forward to this. I'm tickled to be playing in another Changeling game, and this is just gonna be fun. Oh wait, no, it's gonna be dark. It's gonna be dark and broody and serious. It's not the last game I played, but it's gonna be fun. It's still gonna be a good time.
The game was broody as hell, just not for you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were the only, light and fluffy characters, as much as ogres can be light and fluffy in the whole thing. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time, and I hope everybody I hope we bring it so that people enjoy Changeling as much as we do now. So I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I'm back here on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon for Arcos.
Kal.
Hey. Yeah, I've been Kal. I'm excited to play Beauregard, and can't wait to do the things and cast the contracts and the glamours and the find out. Basically, all I'm going off of is Chainsaw Man and that one Telltale game.
That's all you need. The Wolf Among Us. That's all you need.
Oh, okay. I which is my favorite story game, by the way.
Yeah.
What happened to Snow?
What did happen to Snow? Jocelyn, do you know? Or Amy, do you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
You should play it. It's good.
Cool. Yeah, send me information about it, because I will not remember. But hi, I'm Amy. I've been Paradoxical Ghoul, and I'm here. I play a lot. I'm going to be here for Arcos. I'm excited for it, and I'm really excited to play Jocelyn. I'm excited to get the rest of our costuming pieces together, because it's going to be great. And I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put contract things and such. And excited. It's going to be good, and hope you all have fun with her, too. Yeah.
Caitlan.
Hello. Goodbye. Hello and goodbye. I've been Caitlan. I'm Petite Medic in the chat. I'm also very tired for some reason. My eye keeps bugging out, so that's pretty fun. But I will be back here on Monday for Fandelver and Below. And I'll be Anthea, and that'll be super fun. And I'm super excited to play Isobel, though. I came into this with a decent idea of who she was, but now I have I feel like I have a way more solid idea, and I'm super excited. I love Changeling. Let's do it. I love Changeling.
I've been Kelly. I'm super excited to get into this and to play a very hapless character that is not Nolan. We're going to see the different side of hapless on this one, and I'm very excited. I love the idea of playing a character who just keeps getting thrust into things that he really doesn't want to be in, and then it just keeps getting worse every single moment of his life. I love those type of characters. That's me. I'll be back. Like Logan. You got it. You got it. And you'll see me again on Sunday for Arcos, because I run it. Simon.
All right, I am and have been Simon. I will be the storyteller for this Changeling game. I'm also exceptionally excited to be doing it. The cast is great, the characters are great, and it's going to be an absolute blast. So please come out and watch. And you can find me upcoming tomorrow, 9 Eastern on OPB Twitch channel. Recorded, and then I'm also happen to be popping by Precarious's channel tomorrow for something around 8 Eastern. I'm gonna have to get that time right just to make sure. So I'll be in 2 places at once, but being an AI born in the sea of information, I can do that. Watch my 3 hands. So yes, looking forward to it. Come back next week. We'll kick it off.
Nice. And a big thank you, of course, to our sponsor, Bookworm Games, and to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/dorktales. Not the least of which is our divine producer, my mom. Hey, Mom, how's it going? I talked to you today, so I don't know what else to say there. To our demonic producer, Precarious. Brick, thanks for coming in and dropping all those subs earlier. You are phenomenal. Thank you so much. I look forward to watching you inflict a lot of pain on people, but I'm going to be recording tomorrow night, so I won't be able to watch directly. To our Wizards of the Patreon, Tammy the Forever Cleric and the Ink Goblin, you are both amazing. And you know who else is amazing? Our High Council of the Patreon, Taryn, Dustin, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Chef Eladeth, Sorcerer Sanguine, Larouk, Mike Baxter, and Kelowna Curd. If you would like to join them and see a ton of additional Dork Tales content, head over to patreon.com/dorktales. It's the best way to support the channel and keep the lights on around here. Thank you so much to everybody for watching, and thanks to Simon for running this mess. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
This motley adventure.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
Just wait.
Just wait. All right, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
And yeah, we're just at Twitch. We're going to go raid No Man. Because I am no man. No. All right, 50. Come on, last 8 people. Get those channel points.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice that you get points for that.
Yeah, you do. I'm just going to click the button. If you guys missed out, you missed out. Let's go!
Yeah. Let's go.